I called my wife's friend's dating technique stupid to her face, and it blew up our entire dinner party. My wife and I were having a few of her friends over. The wine was flowing, the food was good, and the conversation was easy. But then one of her friends, a woman who is genuinely sweet but unlucky in love, starts talking about how she just can't find any good men who will stick around. And what she revealed next, well, let's just say I couldn't stay silent. The whole table is sympathetic. They nod along as she laments her latest failed dates. Then she leans in, almost conspiratorially, and decides to share her secret weapon. Her dating technique. The strategy she uses to weed out the weak ones. And it's this: when she finds a guy she actually likes, she shows as little interest as possible. She'll ignore texts. She'll be vague. Sometimes she'll just ghost them for days at a time. Why? Because, in her words, she wants them to fight for her. I couldn't help it. A laugh just burst out of me. The table went quiet. All eyes were on me. And I just looked at her and said, "That is just plain stupid." You could have heard a pin drop. Her face fell. My wife's eyes were daggers. I continued, "Maybe I should have stopped, but I couldn't." "Of course you won't find any good men," I told her. "Because only the bad ones will do that. A good guy, a man who actually respects you, will see you sending out signals that you're not interested, and he will respect that. He will walk away. The only men who will keep chasing you after you ghost them are the ones who don't care about your boundaries. The ones who see you as a prize to be won, not a person to be respected." I'm on the spectrum, and sometimes I have a really hard time reading a room, realizing when people are getting upset until it's way too late. That's when I felt it. A sharp bump against my leg. My wife, under the table, giving me the signal. The one that means, "Shut up. Right now." I looked at her, and her expression confirmed it. I had crossed a line. A big one. The rest of the dinner was tense. The easy conversation was gone, replaced by stilted small talk and awkward silences. Her friend barely looked at me. As soon as they could, they made their excuses and left. The second the door closed, my wife turned on me. "What is wrong with you?" she asked, her voice low and angry. I started to defend myself, to explain my logic, but she cut me off. "Here's the thing," she said, and her voice softened just a little. "You're not wrong. I completely agree with you. It's a terrible strategy and it's why she's so miserable. But you didn't need to be so blunt about it. You didn't have to humiliate her in front of everyone." I spent the rest of the night wondering if I was the bad guy. I mean, was I supposed to just sit there and nod along to a plan that is guaranteed to bring this woman nothing but pain? Or was my wife right? Was it my job to just keep my mouth shut and let her friend continue down this path of self-sabotage? I felt stuck. I believed I was right, but I also knew I had hurt someone. And I started to wonder, if this strategy was so obviously terrible, why hadn't her friends, my wife included, ever told her? What my wife told me next changed everything I thought I knew about her friend. I asked her that very question. "If you all know it's a bad idea, why has no one said anything?" My wife sighed. "We have," she admitted. "We've all tried. Just, not like you did. We've said things like, 'Are you sure that'll work?' Or, 'Maybe you should just text him back.' We've been gentle. But she just doesn't listen. She keeps doing it." And then came the real story. The reason behind the madness. Apparently, about 3 years ago, her friend was in a serious, long-term relationship. 4 years they were together. They had a huge fight one night. She stormed out to get a drink, to cool off. But she wasn't just sad, she was angry. She wanted to punish him, as she later put it. And in that state of mind, she went and slept with another man. She wasn't even that drunk, my wife said. She was just in a terrible mental place and made a catastrophic decision. Overwhelmed with guilt, she went home and confessed everything to her boyfriend immediately. He dumped her on the spot. Just like that, 4 years of her life gone. Because of one terrible, impulsive choice. Ever since then, her life has been a revolving door of one-night stands and short-term flings with exactly the kind of guys I was talking about. The ones who chase, who don't take no for an answer. The best one she found lasted 4 months. But because of her technique, the bad communication, the mixed signals, he thought they were just casual friends with benefits. She, on the other hand, thought they were a couple. When she found out he was sleeping with other people, she was absolutely heartbroken. It was the same story, over and over again. She was setting up a test that only the worst kind of man could pass. Suddenly, it all made sense. This wasn't a dating technique. It was a trauma response. She isn't trying to find a good man. She's trying to prove that all men will leave her, just like her ex did. She pushes them away to see if they'll fight to stay, because her great love didn't. She's reenacting the worst moment of her life with every new person she meets. This is a woman who is described as bubbly, kind, and sweet. But she's carrying this immense weight, this deep-seated fear of abandonment that is poisoning every chance she has at happiness. My wife doesn't even know if she used this technique before that relationship ended, or if it was born from the ashes of that heartbreak. After hearing all that, I still believe her strategy is idiotic. It is. It's objectively self-destructive, but my blunt, logical takedown at the dinner party, it wasn't aimed at a flawed strategy. It was aimed at a deeply wounded person. I told my wife to tell her friend I was sorry. Not for what I said, but for the way I said it. For my brutal, tactless delivery. So here's the question. His bluntness was undeniably harsh, especially for someone on the spectrum who admits they struggle with social cues. But his wife and her friends had been gently trying to help for years, and it never worked. He was the only one who told her the unvarnished, painful truth. Was his brutal honesty a necessary evil? The only thing that could finally break through to a friend stuck in a self-destructive spiral? Or was it just a cruel attack on someone who was already deeply hurting?